Welcome back. For those of you joining us for the first time, my name is Leanne. I'm a registered and licensed dietitian, and I have a degree in culinary arts. I'm so happy to partner with CDR Naturals to provide to you a cooking demonstration today. Our goal in this partnership is to provide value. We want you to learn, and we want you to feel empowered to cook at home. Today we're going to be featuring tomatoes. Technically, tomatoes are a fruit, but however you want to classify them, they are delicious. It's tomato season right now. You can get tomatoes year-round at the store, but they taste best in the summer between mid-July and late August. I have a nostalgic food memory about tomatoes. When I was younger, my parents would take my brothers and sisters and I to go visit our uncle and my cousins, and my uncle had this huge garden, and my cousins and my brothers and sisters and I would run around the garden and we would pick tomatoes and we would eat them right off the vine. So to this day, a summer sun-ripened tomato really brings back those memories. There are many different types of tomatoes. They have different flavors and different textures and different uses. Today we're going to be featuring heirloom tomatoes. I got heirloom tomatoes from a local farmer's market. I really like heirloom tomatoes because they have different flavors. They come in different colors and textures, and really like the way that they look on a plate for presentations. Tomatoes are not just delicious, they pack some powerful nutrition as well. Tomatoes are filled with vitamin C, vitamin A, vitamin K, and potassium. They also have lycopene. So let's talk about lycopene just for a moment. For those of you that don't know, lycopene is an antioxidant. Lycopene can help with digestive health. Lycopene can help with different eye conditions like cataracts and macular degeneration. Lycopene also can help lower cholesterol and reduce risk of stroke. If you don't like tomatoes, lycopene can be found in watermelon and red grapefruit as well. There are a lot of different ways that tomatoes can be prepared. You can grill them, you can stuff them, you can roast them in the oven. You can put them in soups, you can make sauces. Obviously, a tomato sauce is really tasty. When tomatoes are in season, I really like to eat them raw. There's different ways that we like to prepare them at home. We might cut up a raw tomato and put it with basil, garlic, olive oil, and then put it on toast like a bruschetta. We also might mix tomato and basil and cucumber and olive oil and vinegar and make a cucumber tomato salad that's really delicious. You can also do a Caprese salad, which is tomato, basil, and mozzarella cheese. And that's actually what we're gonna feature today in our recipe. So we're gonna do a traditional Caprese. We're gonna use heirloom tomatoes. We're gonna use mozzarella cheese, some extra virgin olive oil, salt, pepper, and basil. So the ingredients for traditional Caprese are, we're using the heirloom tomatoes and mozzarella cheese. I've taken about 3 heirloom tomatoes and I slice them about quarter half inch thick. And then I've got about a 1/4 inch thick slice on my mozzarella cheese as well. You can get a log of it at the grocery store and just slice it. And then I'm just using salt and pepper to taste, a few pinches of salt and pepper. And then the extra virgin olive oil, I have a couple tablespoons here. We're just gonna drizzle this generously over the plate at the end for a dressing. And then we're going to take the basil and I'm gonna show you a fun way to cut it for a pretty plate presentation. So let's put our traditional Caprese salad together on a plate here, and then I'll show you last how to cut the basil. All right, for a traditional Caprese salad, we're gonna kind of shingle the tomato and the mozzarella on the plate. So just kind of stacking them, alternating. I like to just alternate the colors. All right. After you put your tomato and your mozzarella on the plate, I'm gonna sprinkle a little bit of salt and pepper on top. The salt really draws out the juices in the tomato. Kind of makes almost like a dressing in its own for the salad. Okay. And then I'm gonna take my olive oil, got a couple tablespoons here. I'm just gonna drizzle it a few times over. And then lastly, I'm going to show you how to chiffonade the basil. So chiffonade is a term that I learned in culinary school. Chiffonade basically just means to cut into ribbons. And you can do this with any leafy green. I really like to do it with my basil to put on this salad because it makes for a really pretty plate presentation. So if you have family or if you have guests, it's a nice way to just have a really nice presentation. So basically, when you are going to chiffonade, you really want to make sure you're using a sharp knife. If your knife isn't sharp and it's dull, you could bruise the leaves of the basil. And a bruised basil leaf means that it's going to turn from green to black, and the aromas and the oils are going to go out a lot quicker for that herb. So just want to make sure you're using a sharp knife. So basically what I've done is I've taken a bunch of basil leaves here and I've stacked them on top of each other, and I'm just going to roll them tight, just kind of like a little cigar. So stack them, you roll them up, and then you take your sharp knife, and that's where you just cut like so. You will get faster with this with practice. Just be careful, make sure your fingers are out of the way of the knife blade, okay? So now that I've cut it, I can kind of pull it apart, and that's where it turns into those really pretty ribbons. And that is all you have to do to chiffonade. And I take the basil and I just sprinkle it generously over the tomato and mozzarella. And there you have your traditional caprese salad. It's good for an appetizer or a side. It's a dish that is delicious and simple and quick. I know that you and your guests are going to love it. Thank you so much for joining us today. We look forward to seeing you again next time.